Look, 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 look. Look at this amazing chickpea bread we have here. Fluffy and delicious. Hello, today we're going to enjoy a very different kind of bread. We're going to make it with chickpeas, and it turns out amazing. The first thing is to add cooked chickpeas. They can be from a can or ones you've cooked yourself. Ensure the water is thoroughly drained into a container suitable for a blender, such as this jar. You know I've put in 1.5 cups, which is about 300 grams. And now, spices to taste. I add oregano. I add parsley. I also add garlic powder, which I love. I think it gives the bread an amazing touch. And salt? You can change the spices a bit to your liking. I use this combination because it gives the bread a very interesting touch, but you could even leave it with just salt. That's up to your personal taste. Then we add a tablespoon of oil. In my case, extra virgin olive oil, but you can use whichever you like or have on hand. Also, a 1/4 cup of milk. Everything goes in. And we're going to blend this mixture really well. You can use a hand blender, like I do, also called a mini blender or immersion blender. But you can use a blender or a countertop mixer without any problem. Are you going to make a thick puree like the one you see here? Look, now I'll show you the texture. It's really thick, really thick. Well, to this wonderful thing we have here, we're going to add a few more things to turn it into a delicious, surprising, and very, very quick bread dough. What we're going to do is add cornstarch, specifically 1 cup or 125 grams. And we're going to stir it so it mixes with that chickpea paste we had underneath. Keep stirring it until it gradually turns into a dough, like this, see? Is that okay? At that point, we're going to add a lightly beaten egg. It doesn't need to be foamy, just mix the white with the yolk, like this, more or less. Well, once we have it, we're going to add it and mix it. And this moisture from the egg is going to be the final touch. Since not all eggs are exactly the same, nor are all chickpeas, there's a bit of variety. That is, you have to keep an eye on it. It's not always going to turn out exactly the same. So don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to get it just right so it always turns out perfect. Mix. So you'll mix at this point. For example, mine is too runny. I want it to be a little thicker. And how do you do that? Well, with 1 more teaspoon of cornstarch. If the opposite happens, you can add a little bit of milk. Also, you'll need a teaspoon of baking powder, which always helps this to rise well. Mix very well and look for a texture like this, where it takes some effort to fall off the spoon or spatula. See? Is that the consistency you're looking for? If yours matches, great. If not, adjust by adding more cornstarch or milk. Then we take a mold. In my case, it's 18 centimeters in diameter, lined with parchment paper so it comes out more easily. And we place the bread inside the mold. Come on, smooth it out a bit so the surface is more or less even, and we'll have our bread ready and set to bake. But you can give it an extra crunchy touch if you sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. If you add them, I recommend that you then run a spoon over the top, pressing them gently into the bread. When you toast the bread before cutting it, the toppings will stick to the dough instead of falling off. See? A simple and very easy touch. Then, yes, put it in the oven on the lower middle rack, with the oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius, and in about 30 to 40 minutes. You usually have it ready. You'll know it's done because it looks good. And when you poke the center with a toothpick, it comes out clean. Let it cool a bit before removing it from the mold. And enjoy this real gluten-free wonder, fluffy, full of flavor, and as you can see, it's really, really soft. A real wonder that we've made in very little time and explained to you in just 5 minutes. What an absolute delight. Look at how it looks. Honestly, it turns out super appetizing, and look how juicy and soft it is. That's the best thing about bread, and it's hard to believe it was made gluten-free and with chickpeas. A surprising combination that honestly works really well. I still have a little piece here, and it's aromatic, delicious, and highly absorbent. It has it all. I hope you like the idea. And if you like this kind of bread, let me know down in the comments where you've eaten this bread. Even more surprising was that it was super delicious. Like this, we all share ideas together, just like I have some ideas on the channel. You know? Saladolandia has a ton of delicious ideas that I'm sure you'll love. Check out the previous videos and find your next favorite lunch or dinner. But if you're looking for sweet moments for dessert, that's what Golosolandia is for. My channel for sweet recipes with hundreds of delicious ideas that I'm sure you'll love too. Shall we go for it?